Welcome to the Explainer. So, you're looking to start a life in Australia with your partner? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking those super dense government guidelines and turning them into a clear, actionable roadmap for your future together in Australia.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to cover the whole journey, right? Starting with what the visa actually is, then how to prep your application, how to prove your relationship, that's a big one, then the nitty-gritty of lodging it, and finally, what happens after you hit submit. Let's dive in.
All right. First things first, what exactly is this Subclass 820 visa anyway? Understanding this is really the foundation for your entire application. It's step one on that path to permanent residency. So, what it boils down to is this. The Subclass 820 is your temporary pass to live in Australia with your partner and lets you get on shore, live your life, and in most cases work, all while the department is looking at your relationship. And that's huge, right? Because it means you can actually start building your life together in Australia while that longer permanent visa process is ticking along in the background. And this slide really lays out that two-stage process perfectly. See, you're actually applying for both the temporary 820 visa and the permanent 801 visa at the exact same time. This is a massive advantage. Seriously, you pay one fee, you submit one big application. They look at you for the temporary visa first, and then, usually about 2 years down the track, they'll tap you on the shoulder for some updated info to finalize your permanent visa. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, let's jump into Section 2, Preparation. Look, a successful application is all built on a rock-solid foundation of prep work. Getting all your documents in order right from the get-go is absolutely crucial if you want a smooth process.
Okay, pay attention to this one, because it trips up a lot of people. Form 956A? That's a simple one. It just lets a friend or family member get your mail. That's it. But if you need actual professional legal advice, someone to represent you, you have to use Form 956 to appoint a registered migration agent or a lawyer. They are definitely not the same thing, so make sure you choose the right one for the level of help you actually need.
All right, when it comes to your personal documents, these are the absolute non-negotiables. The department needs these core items to prove who you are, no question about it. Your birth certificate is a big one, so are the main pages of your passport, the ones with your photo and details. Oh, and don't forget proof of any name changes, if that applies to you.
Getting this part right from the very beginning is going to save you so many headaches later on. The rules are super specific. Any documents not in English, they need an accredited translation. All your scans have to be in color, and for anything with multiple pages, like a bank statement, you've got to combine it into a single file. But hey, here's some good news. You don't have to get them certified. Just follow these steps, and you'll avoid a ton of unnecessary delays.
Okay, we've now reached the absolute heart of your application. Seriously, everything hinges on this next part. Proving your relationship is genuine, that it's ongoing, and that you're committed to each other. So let's break down exactly how the department wants you to show them that.
So the big question is, how do you actually prove your relationship is the real deal? Well, luckily, the Department of Home Affairs doesn't make you guess. They've laid out a really clear framework, and it's all based on 4 key pillars of your life together. This table right here, this is basically the blueprint for your evidence file. You've got to paint a complete picture of your life, which means providing proof across all 4 of these categories. Think joint bank accounts for the financial stuff, mail addressed to both of you for the household, travel photos and statements from friends for the social side of things, and even messages showing your future plans for your commitment. Remember, a balanced application is a strong application.
Now, if you're not married, this is a super important timeline you need to know about. The department usually wants to see at least 12 months of solid evidence that you've been in a de facto relationship right before you apply. But there is a major exception. If you've registered your relationship with an Australian state or territory government, that can often waive the whole 12-month rule.
All right, so you've gathered this mountain of evidence. What's next? Let's get into the practical side of things, submitting everything through the online portal, which is called ImmiAccount. This is where all that hard work finally comes together. Okay, you're going to want to follow these steps in ImmiAccount exactly. It's a pretty clear process, but pay really close attention to that last step. Once you hit submit, you'll get what's called a transaction reference number, or TRN. You have to give this number to your partner. Why? So they can log in and complete their part of the sponsorship application. Your visa isn't officially lodged, and that means the processing clock doesn't start ticking until both of your forms are in.
100. That's the maximum number of documents you can attach for each person. And look, it sounds like a lot, but trust me, it fills up surprisingly fast. This is exactly why combining multi-page documents, like that 12-page bank statement, into one single file is so important. Being organized here isn't just about being neat. It's absolutely necessary to fit all your crucial evidence within that limit.
This is a direct quote from the Department of Home Affairs, and you should really take it to heart. Even if you have a migration agent helping you, make sure your own personal email and phone number are on that application. The department can, and sometimes will, try to contact you directly, and you do not want to miss a crucial request for information.
So, you've hit submit, and phew, a huge weight is lifted off your shoulders, right? But the journey's not quite over. So what happens now? Let's walk through the waiting period and what your obligations are during this really crucial time.
This timeline here is great for managing your expectations. After you and your sponsor have both lodged your parts, you'll usually get asked to do a health check and provide some police certificates. And then, well, then it's a waiting game. The department might reach out for more information, or they might just move straight to a final decision. Either way, you'll get that final outcome in writing.
So while you're waiting, you have a few really key responsibilities. You have to tell the department about any changes, like if you move, get a new passport, or if your relationship status changes. And this one is critical. You must always hold a valid visa while you're in Australia. Letting your current visa run out while you're waiting can cause serious problems for your application.
Look, life happens, right? And things can definitely change during those long processing times. So what should you do if your situation changes? Especially the most important part of the whole application, your relationship. If your relationship does end, you have an obligation to let the department know. And while, yeah, that can affect your application, it's really important to know that it's not always the end of the line. The government actually has provisions for very difficult situations, including things like family violence, which might still allow the visa to be granted. The key thing is to communicate with them.
In the end, your application is going to lead to one of two outcomes. If it's granted, fantastic. You'll get a formal letter with all your visa details and any conditions. If it's refused, the department has to tell you why, and they'll also give you information on any rights you have to appeal that decision at a tribunal.
At the end of the day, just think of your application as the official story of your relationship. It needs to be honest, it needs to be thorough, and it needs to be really well organized. By clearly telling the story of your life together through all that evidence, you're building the strongest possible case for your future.
And there you have it, the official government roadmap for the Subclass 820 visa, all broken down. We really hope this explainer has turned what feels like a daunting process into a clear, manageable journey. You've got the map now, your future in Australia is waiting.